What's going on, guys? Jake here with Uncommon EDC, and today I'm checking out the Spyderco Panchenko Dog Tag Gen 4, which is obviously a dog tag style knife, which there are plenty of these out there. This one designed by Serge Panchenko, who's kind of known for his minimal, compact designs that make really great use of their space, and this is no exception. Another of his knives that I've reviewed on the channel is the BD1 Gen 2, this one from Black Fox, but kind of shares a similar trend here where the thumb hole really tucks into the scale and nothing's protruding outside of the scales, and it's also a slip joint, so very similar knives here, obviously different shape. This one's quite a bit thicker, but you can tell same designer. And I really like Serge Panchenko's designs. I don't have a lot of them, but all of the ones that I've seen I really enjoy. And like I said, I feel like he makes really good use of the space in his designs. So this one is really tiny, obviously, and if you've watched the channel for a while, you know that I typically will carry a secondary knife, and typically a tiny knife like this, I prefer sub 2-inch blade because I'm carrying them as secondary to my main knife, so I'll always have a 3-inch or so blade or more in my main pocket, and then a sub 2-inch blade in my fifth pocket, when I have a fifth pocket at least. And so when you're thinking about these type of compact knives, you have to think of them from that perspective. These aren't meant to be your main knife, and they're not a full-size knife, so they're not going to be able to perform the same tasks that a full-size knife would. And so with that in mind, I think this is a really cool knife, but at the same time, you have to keep that in the back of your mind that it's not functioning the same way a full-size knife would, and so you can't really expect that of it. Now onto the knife itself, it's got this really nice stonewash blade, tiny sheep's foot, 1.19 inches overall and 0.12 inches thick. The handle, which is obviously the shape of a dog tag, 2.03 inches long, about an inch wide, a hair over an inch, and 0.29 inches thick. That brings the overall length to 3.22 inches, which again is about the size of the blade of a lot of the knives I'm carrying, so it's tiny, even open, and weighs in at just 0.9 ounces, so it's really going to disappear in your pocket, or if you're wearing it on a necklace with dog tags on your neck. It's super light. Thumb hole deployment, obviously it's got that really nice size Spidey hole for the size of the blade, and that really lines up well with the knife. Nothing protrudes outside of that dog tag shape when closed, obviously, and you get a nice size hole for such a small knife. It is a slip joint, so no locking mechanism, but I'm not even really sure where you'd put a locking mechanism on this knife. It's, again, pretty small, and the scales alone are so thin that you really aren't going to be able to do much in terms of locks. This isn't a made in the USA knife from them. It's not one made in Colorado. It is made in Taiwan, so something to keep in mind. That really nice stonewash blade is a CTS BD1 steel, so super budget steel, nothing impressive there. And I guess you don't really need anything super impressive from such a small knife because you're not going to be performing a lot of heavy duty cutting tasks, but for the price, which I'll talk about in just a second, feels a little bit low end. And then on to the scales, which are also pretty low end material, just aluminum scales. They're pretty firm, you don't get any flex to them or anything like that, but it is aluminum, so not a super expensive material. And for such a small knife, you're paying $82.25. Is it worth $82.25? Probably not, honestly. And I really like this knife, so take that with a grain of salt, I guess. If you like the knife, get it, but I would say that it's not worth $82. You're paying a little bit of a premium for that Spyderco logo and that Spidey hole, probably a little bit of a premium for the Panchenko name, but material-wise, size-wise, you can get a full-size knife and a really good full-size knife for $82. And again, I mentioned that you're paying a little bit for the name Panchenko, but at the same time, the BD1 Gen 2, this is sub $50. You can get it for pretty cheap. It's a bigger knife. I'd say a better knife, a more usable knife. And so to pay $82 for such a small knife that really has limited uses, this is a tiny blade, and you can't get a really good grip on it. It is a slip joint, so no lockup. I don't know, it doesn't feel like it should be $82 for the material and the size, but at the same time, again, I really like it. So if you like it and you feel like it's worth it, definitely get it. It's a cool knife, it's a really cool design, but I just can't recommend it at the price. But again, I like it, so I guess that's all that matters. I probably wouldn't buy it again at $82. If I found it for sub $50, I probably would. I think $40 is probably that sweet spot where I feel like it's a really good value for what it is. Just again, keeping in mind that you're not going to get much cheaper than that. With the Spyderco name and the Panchenko name on there, you're not going to be able to get much cheaper than $40, but build material and just overall size, it feels like a $40 to $50 knife to me. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below what you think of this knife, and I guess the price, if you feel like it's worth the $82. Again, I do think it's a really cool knife and I like it quite a bit now that I have it. Just wouldn't pay that again probably. But yeah, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I'm gonna keep this one short and sweet because it is just kind of a compact knife, and really just kind of wanted to show it off and get your thoughts on it. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching. Take care.